What's going on, guys? It's Coach Noop back in the building with another one. As usual, it's going to be jam-packed full of jewels. Anytime is always appreciated because you can be doing anything but you and me. And you checking out these reviews. And this one is crazy. It's about a man who came home from work early and ended up getting into it with, his baby mom. Found them laying down with his cousin, man. So let's get to it.
Yo, what the fuck? Nigga, what the fuck? Why are you home early? You had work today. This was the scene 31-year-old Hand recorded on his phone when he got home. His wife, Pamela, and his cousin, half naked, asleep together. This happened just 3 months after their daughter, Haley, was born. Furious, Hand started yelling and cursing at Pamela and his cousin before shouting at them to get out of his house. During the heated argument, Pamela pulled a handgun from under the bed and handed it to her lover, Gene Kelly. Moments later, Hand was shot in the stomach and collapsed, unconscious. Panicked, Pamela never imagined things would go this far. In a frenzy, she begged Kelly to call the police and get Hand to a hospital. But Kelly made the worst possible decision. Afraid that his wife would find out about the affair, he fired 2 more shots, one to Hand's neck and another to his head, killing him instantly. In an attempt to cover up the crime, they decided to dump the body at a waste disposal site 20 kilometers away. However, while driving, they were pulled over at a DUI checkpoint. Officers quickly noticed Pamela's extreme nervousness, and after searching the trunk, they found Hand's body. In court, Pamela was sentenced to 5 years as an accomplice, while the shooter, Kelly, received 40 years in prison. Do you think the sentence was fair?
All right, man. Mental health, physical health, spiritual health, decision making, bro. You already know what I'm gonna do, man. You're gonna run it back. I'm gonna have these talking points about it, bro. Let's do it.
Yo, what the fuck? Nigga, what the fuck? Why are you home early? You had work today. This was the scene 31-year-old Hand recorded on his phone when he got home. His wife, Pamela, and his cousin, half naked, asleep together.
All right, man. So you come home from work and you find out that it's your cousin, in the bed with your wife. After you had a baby with your wife, bro. Now, the thing about, that is, it doesn't matter even if it was your cousin, bro. It's like the woman, they're both to blame, okay? At the same time, the woman, man, she knew what she was doing, bro. And even if the cousin came at, the man's wife, she was supposed to say no. She was supposed to turn him down. She was supposed to let the husband know, hey, your cousin's over here. He came at me and I told him no. Or however it went. If the wife came at the cousin, the same thing, man. But for some reason, she made him feel comfortable enough to the point where they ended up in bed together, man. So when you come home and you see that, that should be the first thing on your mind is, oh, you made another man feel good. And then it doesn't even matter like who it is. She did something that was bogus, man. She was sleeping with another man while her husband was hard at work. So first thing that should come to mind is, oh, okay, you don't respect me, you don't care about me, you don't love me. It's all good. Let me gather my things and move around. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't get to that point. Now him being in his feelings, which it does make a lot of people feel some kind of way, man. And he like, what the fuck? And all of that, he was on go mode as soon as he saw what was going on, man. So that's a moment where you do critical thinking when you see something like that. And critical thinking happens fast. Boom, boom, you know what I'm saying? And you in fight or flight mode then. So you really should have been in flight mode. Like, all right, I'm up out of here, man. I don't got time for this, and called it a day. Went on about your way, been a co-parent. But then, when you're in your feelings, like I always talk about, you stick around and you look for answers and you try to argue. And, one answers it's cool. Sometimes not at that moment though. Sometimes it's okay. Most of the times it's okay to go, what I'm saying? Go your way, wait, let things cool down because you're not in your right. mind frame when something like this is going on, especially if you're in love. Now, hold on a second, wait, and then go back and ask questions and seek validation for that or whatever. But, at the same time, you have to be okay with knowing that you're never going to get the answers that you want, bro. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get an apology. She's not sorry for what she did. Because the first thing that she asked him was, why, what are you doing here so early? You know what I'm saying? So she already knew she was going to have his cousin out before he got home from work. What if he was there to give her some flowers or not to do the husband, bring her flowers or, hey, I'm off home early. I'm going to take you and the baby out, all that. All that's out the window, man. Once you find out what's really going on, accept it and move on with your life. Take the next steps, man, to move forward with what's best for you.
Happened just 3 months after their daughter, Haley, was born. Furious, Hand started yelling and cursing at Pamela and his cousin before shouting at them to get out of his house.
All right, so it's his house and you telling them to get out, man. And if they steady going back and forth with you, arguing with you, then you need to get out until they get out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, be gone by the time I get back. Don't be here. You know what I'm saying? In 3 months, I honestly don't think that they've only been messing around for 3 months. Something like that, that's been going on for a while, bro. And he just happened to be the one to have a baby with her. And she was keeping things under wraps from you because she wanted to have her cake and eat it too. And it goes back to what kind of female you're dealing with, man. And once you find out, you move accordingly, bro. And you treat her like that. If she want to act like that, fine. Let her do what she does. Let her go on about her life, man. You going about your life because it's all about longevity, man. Building something for your kids, leaving that family name, bro. And you have to be in your right frame of mind for that. You can't overreact to situations. Everything doesn't call for overreaction, man. And misery love company, bro. And it shows here because, it's a messed up situation. These two didn't have no respect for each other or themselves or him or anybody, rather, for that matter, man. And once you find that out, bro, okay, you cut them off, man. You don't deal with them in that type of way anymore, man. It might be hard to do, but it is possible, though. You could do it.
During the heated argument, Pamela pulled a handgun from under the bed and handed it to her lover, Gene.
She handed it to him. So that shows what type of loyalty, where her loyalty lies. And it wasn't with the husband, it was with her lover. And that's another reason why to get up out of there, man. Especially if they ain't, you know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to fight that dude, man. Even though he bogus, it ain't, your beef is with the woman, bro. And you definitely shouldn't be fighting with her. So you really should have been, go, man, get in the car and get up out of there, man. And go clear your mind. And then come back to that situation, like I've been saying, man. That's the best thing to do in these types of situations, bro. You done caught her red-handed, so it's over with. And don't go back to her because that's giving her a green light to really play in your face and go ham, bro. Really lie to you and do all that. Oh, he came back after I messed with his cousin. He definitely gonna go for anything, and it's only gonna get worse, and the tactics are gonna get more outlandish, bro. So the best thing to have self-respect and do what you gotta do for you, man.
Kelly. Moments later, Hand was shot in the stomach and collapsed, unconscious. Panicked, Pamela never imagined things would go this far.
Yeah, she did. Because she already, she was messing with the dude cousin and she handed the pistol to the cousin. So she already knew where it can go when you got a gun involved, on top of emotions, on top of, thinking irrationally or irrational and illogically. So she knew exactly what was going on, man. I don't, that part, no.
Frenzy, she begged Kelly to call the police and get Hand to a hospital. But Kelly made the worst possible decision. Afraid that his wife would find out about the affair, he fired 2 more shots, one to Hand's neck and another to his head.
See, more bad decisions lead to more bad decisions, especially when you're not thinking right, man. And not only did you shoot him in his stomach, because you didn't want your wife to find out. She was going to find out either way it goes, because everything done in the dark comes to the light, man. So now you done made it. She's definitely going to find out now. What you think she's going to think, how you did your cousin, the blood family? And, your wife ain't your blood, because that's how you're able to have children with her. And they, you know what I'm saying? Because the blood is thin enough to have babies with her. So if you did that to somebody you was related to, what would you do to somebody that you wasn't related to, man? If you ain't care about somebody that you grew up with or you knew like that, man, hey, it's crazy.
Him instantly. In an attempt to cover up the crime, they decided to dump the body at a waste disposal site 20 kilometers away. However,
Another bad decision, man. You gonna dump the body after you pop him, after you was messing with that man's cousin or that man's wife with a brand new baby involved, bro? They wasn't thinking about anything or anybody except for being selfish, man. Being degenerates. And that's what it led to, man. Somebody getting shot and hurt, and she didn't care about her husband, so the cousin didn't care about his wife. Nobody cared about the baby. See all this trauma going on, everybody that gets hurt off a decision that one person decides to make. That's why it's so important to make those good decisions, man.
Driving, they were pulled over at a DUI checkpoint. Officers quickly noticed Pamela's extreme nervousness, and after searching the trunk, they found Hand's body.
Yeah, because you so nervous because you're doing something that you didn't have any business doing. You're so nervous because if you would have made the right decision from jump and not mess with him and let your husband know what was what, then you wouldn't even be in that situation. So nervous because you had so much time on your hands, and instead of putting that baby in daycare or going to your mom's house or something and letting your mom watch the baby or your family that you trust or something like that, and going out and getting it like your husband and helping the man build something, you decided to do some snake shit and go behind his back. That's why it's so important, man. Those morals, man, and those core values, bro. And once you find out that the person you dealing with doesn't have them, okay, it is what it is, man. Save yourself some time. Move around.
In court, Pamela was sentenced to 5 years as an accomplice, while the shooter, Kelly, received 40 years in prison.
Hey, she the one that handed the man the pistol, and she only got 5 years. The dude got 40 years because he actually pulled it. They both should have got 40 years.
You think the sentence was fair?
Hell no. She got off, and she was probably the one who initiated it or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, don't get caught up in your feelings, bro. Even if it is a cousin that you find out is messing with your baby mom, or a best friend, or somebody that you grew up with, you was cool with, man. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who it was. What matters is what you found out, what you know about the person that you thought you trusted. And, that's not why you busting your ass every day at work. That's not what you hustle hard for, man. So you got to lead them people where they are, and you got to keep moving forward, because like I said, misery loves company, man. You can't let people drag you down, bro, when you vibrating high, man. So anyways, you know what I'm saying? This Coach Newt, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're digging this kind of content. And your time is always appreciated, because you could be doing anything, but you hear me checking out these reviews. Until next time, I'm out.